You ready? Let's go. Welcome, welcome. Back again, once again, time and time again, my friends. And you know what we do over here, live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this time, I'm on time. So yeah, thumbs up for that. We're gonna clap it up for that. Yeah. So every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just a quick and brief breakdown of what I see in the market. But this upcoming Monday, so after this weekend, this next one, I'll do a full watch list breakdown. So I'll go over all the pairs, and then I just want to hint on what has happened since we had last spoken about them. So within about a week or two. So, and of course, foreshadowing exactly what I said was going to happen. But yeah, we're going to check that out on Monday. Do a full market breakdown and get that in for you all. So go ahead and make sure you are subscribed and you have the post notifications turned on so that you do get notified anytime I do go live or post any educational content here. So yeah, let's do that. But let's get started. You know, we start out XAU USD. We've spoken about this level in the market plenty of times. Every single live stream, we've spoken about this market. We start on the monthly. We come here and we see that we've had previous structure right in here as support, and then it was finally broken and closed below. Of course, I was speaking about it over the last few live streams as the candle was pushing up that this is a monthly candle and we still have 17 days to go in this candle's life. So as it was not going to be the way that it closed because we have previous structure that was broken to the downside that should now act as resistance on this side. So exactly what I've been speaking about is coming to fruition. If you want to pay attention and get, you know, I guess a little hint on where the market is going, you should probably pay attention. But if we drop down to the weekly time frame, you can see that the market has just been doing the same thing over and over that I preach here. We've been breaking structure and creating structure and then coming back and retesting the structure that was broken and using it as the opposite. So if we look here, we do have a nice and easy move down, move up, come back, came back to retest the neckline right in this area, and that puts us in what the most common pattern in the market, a move to the downside, coming back to retest some previous structure and then continuing the trend to the downside, creating another impulse. And this previous structure that was found is now retested once again, and that propels the market to the downside. And then once again, we break that level, we come back, retest the previous structure that was broken, and then we retest it as the opposite. So it was support over here, it is now acting as resistance, and we are pushing the market to the downside for further trend continuation until shown otherwise by the market. So until we stop making lower lows and lower highs, and then we start creating higher highs and higher lows, you can't be looking for buy opportunities on this market, at least for a long-term perspective. But if we do drop down to the daily time frame, last spoke about this market, we were right here making the retracement. We wanted to see a little deeper retracement at least, but what we had right here was previous structure, resistance, broken to the upside, impulse up, impulse down, coming back into the area. So really we had to move down, found some structure, we had to move back up, and then we did some weird impulse to the upside, and this was the previous structure that was broken that was supposed to act as support. We broke back down below it, so now this structure is acting as the opposite. Instead of support, now that we're coming from underneath, it's acting as resistance, which lines up perfectly to have just a makeshift wonky, because nothing in the market is absolute, as it's going to be just nice and easy. Structure in this area, stop the market, we're pushing down. We have the most common pattern in the market, a move to the downside, in this case a retracement and a continuation. So further continuation on XAU USD going into next week. Now a lot of the USD pairs are going to show the same things. They are correlated with the US dollar. But if we slide over to XAG USD silver, we've had previous structure right in this area, previous structure resistance broken to the upside, a complex correction coming back, retesting this area. It's been acting as support 3 times, a triple bottom created in this area once, twice, thrice, and we're coming into this area once again. We could see a rejection out of this area, but until either a move to the downside breaking the structure or a move to the upside breaking out of the structure is created, there's really no interesting opportunities on this market from a monthly time frame. But if we look at the weekly time frame, we can see that we've had some structure in this area that we had almost previously, the exact same. We have something here, break above, we have the break back down below, If we do get a possible rejection in this area, we could see the further continuation in order to continue the trend to the downside. So since we are currently pushing on the monthly to the downside, nothing really interesting. We are starting to create some sort of patterns on the weekly, and if we do drop down to the daily time frame, you can see that a little more prevalent. Now, we wanted to see the move out of this market the last time we spoke about it, coming to the upside from this area, but this could be the possible move to the downside that ends the impulse, and then we start the retracement, which we have this level in the market here. Just previously pointed out, all these pairs will be correlated, especially the commodities, right in this area, that if we do see some sort of rejection, some sort of retracement, we could look for further continuation to the downside on this market. Now, if we go over XBT, USD, Platinum, we jump to the monthly time frame, you can see that we are moving to the upside, at least on this pair. So from the monthly time frame, we are starting to make moves above this area of resistance that we had, but once again, this is a monthly candle. We still have 17 days until this candle closes. If we drop down to the weekly time frame, you can see that we're just making moves to the upside, creating higher lows, not necessarily creating too much higher highs, even though we did break above this area. We didn't close above it. So this area is acting as resistance right around in here. We are starting to see a little rejection from the weekly, but if we do drop down to the daily time frame, you can see that we've had the most common pattern in the market start to form itself. Along with some others, we've had a move to the upside, breaking structure. Then we had a double top or an M pattern coming back, and then we're now getting the retracement back into this area to retest this level that could actually produce the momentum we need to see this overall just a nice and easy move to the upside, retracement, move to the upside, retracement, move to the upside, retracement move, the most common pattern in the market. So let's slide down to the oil. Oil is a bit interesting as well. We are retesting previous structure resistance, now acting as support, which is not exact. Of course, nothing in the market is, but as we currently are, we are pushing to the upside. We still have 17 days, of course, before this candle closes. But if we look at the weekly time frame, we've had an explosion to the upside where we've had almost an inverted head and shoulders starting to form itself, where you don't want to see the market really break and close below this level, which is the lowest point of the left shoulder. And then from there, you want to see the retracement, which is what this would be, and then the continuation to the upside for a higher high to be created, breaking out of this structure and then continuing the trend. So that could be possible just from the weekly time frame. But if we take a deeper look inside, what can we see is that we are bearish currently on this market because we've created some resistance in this area. Before we can look for any buy opportunities, we would need to see the market break above that area as it is right now. So that's really it on US oil. Going down to Euro USD on the monthly, we are still pushing to the downside from the monthly perspective. On the weekly, you can see that we're just respecting the market trend. I'm gonna hit it once again. We've had a move to the downside. Actually, let me just go ahead and broke structure, come back, retest the structure. Break structure, come back, retest the structure. Break structure, come back, retest the structure. Oops, I didn't mean to close that one. Break structure, really kind of block, come back, break structure, come back, retest this structure broken, continuing the trend. So that's just normal market structure. We're bearish on this on the weekly, on the monthly, and if we look on the daily time frame, you can see that we've had a level in the market right here, this supply and demand candle right in this area that is currently holding price below it. So it's acting as some sort of makeshift left shoulder, if you wanted to count this as a head and shoulders. I do not, but this is the level in the market that is currently holding. We've had an impulse to the downside, come back for the retracement. Just want to see a continuation to the downside. GBP USD monthly time frame, breaking to the downside. We do have a little bit of a bullish monthly candle, so we did find some level of support. If we drop down on the weekly, you can see that this level is down in here. As it is right now, we're just simply continuing trend. So break structure, come back, retest structure, continue trend. That was horrible. Break structure, come back, retest structure, continue trend. But currently right now, this weekly candle is starting to make some moves to the upside. And if we look at the daily, what can we see is that we've had this impulse up, but technically this is also impulse down. but now we're starting to get another impulse to the upside. So this market is really acting out of control, and we are currently pushing to the downside, which looks to be the start of another impulse that could continue the trend. So this is really volatile right now. This market is going crazy. We're getting big moves on the daily on GBP USD. I would still want to see the market break to either the downside some more, like break some structure, come back, retest that, or do something crazy like that, because as we are right now, we simply have higher low, and then from there, even though we did break this structure right in here, we broke and closed above it, we had a retracement that did not come back and retest these lows, which shows us that the buyers are stepping in, which they could be pushing the market to the upside. Who knows? I just want to see some more out of this market before I start to make a decision. If we look at the monthly time frame, pushing to the downside on AUD USD, on the weekly pushing to the downside as well. Just really extended to the downside, so nothing really too exciting. We need to wait for a retracement. And if we look at the daily time frame, we did have a nice and easy move to the downside, come back for a retracement, continue the trend. So all the USD pairs with USD in the end are moving to the downside quite nicely, setting up for some moves using the strategies that we use, which will be linked in the description below as well. But if we jump down to USD CAD from the monthly time frame, pushing to the upside very aggressively on the weekly time frame, breaking above some structure on the weekly as well. And if we look at the daily, that means that we are starting to break above this level in the market that we could see be retested as some support if the market comes back into it. NZD USD monthly time frame pushing to the downside, coming into this level of support. If we look at the weekly time frame, you can see that we've started to break down below just some weekly support, but not very aggressively yet. And if we look at the daily time frame, we're having a little bit of trouble breaking below these lows that we've came into multiple times. So who knows what's going to happen? But I would like to see more continuation to the downside before I start to look for shorts. USD CHF monthly time frame pushing to the upside very aggressively. You know, this is one of my pride and joys of talking about here on this live stream, because it is setting up perfectly and we can see it happen over and over. So every live stream that I've done, I've been talking about this one pattern, which is the most common pattern in the market that happens over and over on all time frames. It's just a simple break of structure, coming back to retest previous structure broken, and then continue the trend for a higher high to be created in this case, or a lower low if we're selling off. So from the monthly time frame, we've seen this develop from the bearish candle right here, testing all the way down to these lows, to making these two bullish candles breaking to the upside right now. And as we see from the weekly time frame, what I speak about are these patterns, which if we get a retest back down into these neckline, we could see the continuation to the upside from a weekly standpoint. And if we look at the daily, even though we are starting to break above these structures, we did get a daily W formation completed at the neckline, which lined up perfectly to go ahead and continue the trend to the upside for this impulse to complete itself. So from here, I either want to see the market come back into some of these levels and show me that it's not really wanting to make these lower lows and breaking down some of these lows down in here, because if that does happen, then this could turn into a bearish market where we start to see some moves like this and the market start to move to the downside. But as it is right now, we're extremely bullish. Nothing really too exciting from the daily time frame perspective to look at USD CHF, so nothing really immediately. And then we have USD JPY on the monthly time frame pushing to the upside very aggressively. On the weekly, just straight impulses to the upside, where we've recently this week got a very strong momentum candle to the upside. If we look at the daily, you see that we wanted to wait for the market to break out of this area before we start to look for any opportunities that could see the market create some higher highs. Even though now we've created this high up in here, if we do get a retracement back down into some of these levels, we could see the continuation as we've been waiting for. Then we also hit BTC USD from the monthly time frame. Speaking about it once again, previous structure broken to the upside, coming back now, being retested as structure support. We've had one bullish candle coming out of here, so one bounce, and then we've also had another bounce that didn't go quite as high, but we are starting to reject some of these lows right here around the 18,000 level. So as it is right now, this weekly candle is rejecting that level as well. On the daily time frame, you can see this in a little more detail. This could be a possible triple bottom, quadruple bottom type instance. I mean, this level has been really important for a while, so it's no surprise. But we've came into this level, and every time this is where it looks like buyers, they found their price point. This is where they want to get in. So not saying that the market's going to explode from here, but in 2024, when the next halving event is supposed to happen, that is when I expect Bitcoin to make the move to the upside. So that's exactly what happened over here in this area, all this explosion to the upside. And then if we get that again, which it lines up perfectly, previous structure, come back in this area, explosion to the upside once again, at least retesting the highs. So that is it. We got any pairs y'all want to talk about? Nothing really. I appreciate it if you made it this far in the live stream. Remember, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just doing a quick market breakdown on where the market's going. I mean, you can see with the accuracy, we do a multi-time frame analysis along with structure, just technical breakdown, and it really is effective. I guess I've had that on display at least for some while now. So if you want to learn more of that style of trading and how I use that to incorporate into the strategies that we do use, go ahead and check the link out in the description. But other than that, I would be appreciative if you go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed with the post notifications on. That way you get notified when I do go live. You just want to tap in one time with your boy. But other than that, I hope you're having a profitable day and had a profitable week on and off the charts. And I'm going to holler at y'all, man.